Gentlemen, episode 6 has come and gone. What did you guys think of Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Who goes first?
Go ahead, JP. Go ahead, JP.
It's not it wasn't my favorite Star Wars show.
Okay, I thought you were going to
But
be more
that
optimistic than me.
finale, but that finale was definitely one of the best finales for me. It wrapped for me. It wrapped up the show nicely. I'm hoping for a second season, like to explain more stuff that happened. Because as we can see, Obi's still not old.
Yeah.
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 They need to get a little bit more hair off his head. And he needs to get
more
a little
wrinkles.
bit more. He needs to get skinnier and smaller. He needs to shrink down.
And,
so what do you? Yeah.
And that lightsaber battle. Love that lightsaber battle.
Yes, it was a good one. What do you think then, Mr. Giftomic Balu?
Well, on the positive, they have definitely done a great job in making the lightsaber battles just remarkable. The lightsaber battles are absolutely remarkable. Darth Vader, they've made him just even better. I mean, when you talk about a character that I thought couldn't get more improved after Rogue One in terms of impact and intimidation, I mean, they just took it up another level. And with that last episode and really getting the division between Anakin and now who Vader is, I thought it was great. I'm a little mad about the costume of Vader because I feel like I wish it could be updated for a modern era, but you can't. The big helmet and everything's there, but I feel like there's a much sleeker, a much more devious Vader costume that could have been made, but you can't do it now because of the established lore. But
that would be blasphemy upon all blasphemies if you changed Darth Vader's outfit.
Right, and I would never go for it. It would be only if we had only gotten the movie, that was set for way down the line and not for where it's at. So you can't change it. But it just the more that you saw Anakin and seeing Vader, like even the vocal change kind of was just like it's not quite. I can't go from Anakin to James Earl Jones this fast. Like something didn't fit correctly in the transition, but it nitpicky stuff on that. But Vader's development and continued rise of evilness and power is amazing. I love it. I'm gonna be honest. Outside of that, I thought the last episode was just underwhelming. This whole show has been underwhelming because I really realize, and I think you said it before, Jason, like Disney has basically they don't know how to make a show. They know how to make a movie broken up into multiple parts. And this was a movie broken up into multiple parts. And hence, you didn't get to see the full range of what Obi-Wan was. And even with Reva, I don't know what her point is. She doesn't exist anywhere else in Star Wars, at least the visual universe. And if she exists in the comics, I'd never heard, but it doesn't seem like she existed in the comics. So what the heck is her point? Like, what is her entire arc for? Like, she didn't die, which also to this moment still doesn't make sense. That's the other negative that I have on this. They made lightsabers weaker because, again, how do you impale somebody and not with a lightsaber and they're not dead immediately?
Was there even a scar?
There wasn't even a scar. Like, her armor didn't even have a hole in it. So it's like, what is the point? There was that whole thing meant nothing. And then, again, the story was so much like, even this is how much it really aggravated me. We had this whole season of him trying to get Leia back home, and we didn't even see them bring Leia back home. We saw the after effects of after Leia's home, and they've already felt all the happiness and joy and blah, 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 blah. And then we only get it where she gets to be reunited with Obi-Wan, which is not what this should have been. Like, it completely defeated the whole arc of what was her reason for being in it. Like, it goes back again. This could have been 1, maybe 2 episodes at best for Leia to be existing in it. Other than that, there was no reason for it. And again, we did not get Obi-Wan. Even the ending actually, I think, made me the most angry because you got Qui-Gon Jinn, and now you're bringing it, and you're just being like, okay, let's get started. No, where was the work to get there? Don't tell me he just opened up his eyes. No, where was the work to get to that point? Like, why did we now just get Qui-Gon? What was your relief? You just Qui-Gon
Jinn was just that guy who turned up after all the hard work has been done. There's a worky party, and everyone does all the hard work, everyone does all the cleaning, and everyone gets in, does all the work, and all of a sudden Qui-Gon Jinn turns up after everything's done. Says, "Hey guys, I'm here for the drinks. I'm here.
We're good." It was the same thing that
what's been happening.
Martian Manhunter did in the Snyderverse, Justice League. Freaking, it's like, bro, like what was the evidence?
Qui-Gon Jinn.
That was an example of fan service done terribly. And one thing I can say for Disney is they've typically done, especially with the MCU and a little and part of Star Wars, especially with utilizing Luke, they've done fan service really well, in my opinion. This was the worst version of fan service that I could ever have gotten. And it meant nothing because I'm watching it at the end and I'm like, you bastards know you're getting a season 2. You sick little, you guys wasted my whole first season of being able to develop knowing you're getting a second season. And this is why we have this continuation, because otherwise there is no reason for this ending to happen the way that it did. All right, you should have had a conclusion that he stays on the planet Tatooine and watches Luke. Though even he's saying, Luke is safe with you. It almost makes it feel like, then why were you on the planet for all those years? Whenever you became known as a hermit,
realization, character development.
I get it, but we still got to connect it. It still has to make sense to the greater picture. So, like. In this, it was just like, yo, you guys did the same thing that you did with your movies. You did the same thing that you did with your movies, and that is problematic. Mandalorian is a show. Boba Fett was a movie broken down into episodes. This was a movie broken down into episodes. I don't want movies broken down into episodes. I want every episode to be its own movie with an underlying source. Because honestly, you know what? This should have been called at least Vader. If they had called it Vader, I would have actually appreciated it more because we got more of a character arc from Vader.
I can't disagree with anything you just said. The finale was half decent, but also made it half bad. And what was good about it is everything you just said. And I think that watching those two guys go hammer and tong with the lightsabers was brilliant. It's been what the whole show has basically hinged on, which is those two kind of going hard at each other. Forget the fact that Ben Kenobi has had a major, uplift, upgrade in all powers, in everything, even better than probably he was in episode 3. He kind of went OP. I'm not sure what he had with his Wheaties that morning for breakfast, but boy, it worked. And the fact that Darth Vader kind of, for a guy who could drag down spaceships, seemed not quite as up to what he was. Having said that, once they got cracking, you kind of forgot all of it, right? Which kind of backs up the point I made a couple of weeks ago, is if it's good storytelling, you tend to overlook all the mass inconsistencies. If you just get it, and for that lightsaber scene, I was fully engaged in it. Like I found we all were. You didn't like the bit about Hayden Christensen's voice now coming in and indicate. I actually kind of dug it. I
liked it. I liked it whenever they did it when his mask broke. I did.
Yeah. Right.
We're talking about just Vader in it of itself, because it's like how did you earn this voice? But whenever they put the vocalization when his mask broke, it was I appreciate that. The tone,
the whole broken mask thing was, as someone said, was pretty much what the whole series is about. I think that's, for many people, when they think about what's good about this series, they'll think about that one scene where these two finally look eye to eye to each other and say, "Screw you, you go to hell." The only thing, again, they do these things in Star Wars that frustrated me about that fight scene was Darth Vader piles all those rocks on Ben or Obi-Wan and then walks away. Oh, don't walk away. I just screamed at the television, "Come back. You know through life experience that you Jedis are really, really hard to kill." Was he going to get a cup of tea? Even if he thought he killed him, he would have stood up and got given the finger over the pile of rocks.
Right.
The fact he just said, "Right, I'm going to go get a cuppa."
You know what line? You know, in that scene, what line that was really sad that was missed? And I know they probably said, "Oh, we're not going to do it because it's too expected," but they should have done it.
The high ground.
Exactly. Obi-Wan, I have the high ground.
Yep. It had to be really good though. It had to be, "Yo, bitch, who's got the high ground now?" It had to be like that. It had to be like, I know you say it's implied, and it's all just.
But it needed to be said, and it was a lost opportunity. Though I did like the fact that Darth Vader had like the long walk back to his ship, which I tell you is hilarious because every single time they have the Jedi pop up, it's just like they just appear. It's like appear. But no, this was like, nope. Now I got to stroll with these.
But he's got the swagger. So as he said, that was great, and I think we all share that excitement for that. As for everything else, Reva chasing Luke Skywalker, who we had not seen in any real meaningful way for the entire series, chasing him around for an outcome which we knew was never going to amount to anything. We knew he was chasing, Reva was chasing Luke, little baby. Did I say Luke?
Right.
Yeah, she's chasing Luke.
Yeah.
We knew she wasn't going to kill Luke. We knew she wasn't even going to kill Uncle Owen or Mrs. Owen, Auntie Owen. We knew that none of that was going to mean to anything. And what'd she say? Revenge? Again, what are you doing down there, Reva?
For justice.
What does she know? Does she not know? I guess she did. I guess
she knew because of the recording from
the transmission.
Organa. Yeah.
That kind of thing.
But the thing that didn't make it any sense is because of the continued lack of backstory or depth of Reva. So we know that she said that she pretended to be dead amongst the bodies, but the way that scene implied was almost that Anakin gave her grace in keeping her alive because he had the lightsaber ready to go to kill her and then didn't. And then in this situation, it was like they're trying to mimic it like it's one and the same. But it's like, wait, we didn't see that. We didn't see that moment of grace as if Sith Anakin knew something. And so, you're right. It was a meaningless scene to give a character who is ultimately meaningless in the overall Star Wars lore.
Didn't
make any sense.
To me, the ingredients were there for Reva to be there, right? She was part of C6. She had motivation. It was interesting. But at the end of the day, I can't help but think about this whole, is it Kathleen Kennedy? She's the producer. She oversees all this stuff.
Yeah.
And they keep making the same mistakes. They keep making the same mistakes. If you keep always doing what you've always done, you'll keep always getting what you've always got.
Let's remind our friends to please click on the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when we have new videos out.
Subscribe!
Die. Oh, die.